All right, what's up? I am here in Santa Cruz in a new spot where I haven't really been before. I'm staying here in my grandma's apartment, thankfully, because renting here would be extremely expensive. All right, this is the new crib for now. We got the bedroom in there, we got the living room here, and we got the crazy freaking artwork everywhere. Kudos to my grandma, who's a great artist. And yeah, here's where I'm gonna be training and preparing for my Ironman for the next couple weeks. I guess it's only a week and a half, so looking forward to it. But what am I doing in Santa Cruz, you'd ask? I am preparing for the Santa Cruz 70.3 Ironman, which is occurring in approximately 1.5 weeks or 10 days from now. Most of the training for that is already done. I'm doing a little bit this week, and next week I'm doing a little bit, but it's sort of the taper time where I'm doing less and less has already started. What have I been up to in terms of that training that's already done? Last couple weeks I was home in Pennsylvania, where the location I was at is actually quite nice for triathlon training. They have a really nice bike trail, which I love to use because then you're not really on dangerous roads and you're not scared of getting hit by cars. Instead, you're scared of hitting squirrels or children or dogs, but it's really not as bad as the roads. So I was out there training a lot, biking a lot, running a lot, and swimming not so much because I hate swimming. The training went extremely well. I was super happy with how the build went. It was really a short triathlon build. It was like 4 weeks long, and by the fourth week I was doing over 16 hours of training, mostly in zone 2. Overall, the volume was amazing, and I was super happy with how my body handled it. I really didn't feel bad at all, which is thanks to both the fact that I'm young and I can do this sort of thing, but also because much of the training that I was doing involved cycling and swimming, which are not super prone to injury. Because I feel like with running, I run into a lot of mechanical stress much earlier than I do run into problems with recovery in terms of the cardiovascular system and aerobic energy system. So having a lot of cycling and some swimming involved really helped me push my aerobic abilities without having to worry so much about the mechanical stress, because I was still only running like 30 miles a week, maybe up to like almost 40, I think, by the fourth week. 30-40 miles is not that much. My body can handle that, thankfully, even though I had a little scare in the beginning of the summer with IT band issues. Overall, the 30 to 40 miles of running per week these last couple of weeks have really not been horrible, and my body handled it pretty well. But what my body handled much better was the 8 hours up to 10 hours of cycling per week that I was doing on my new bike, which is really cool. I just set up this bad boy all by myself like a real adult, and it's kind of a little bit dirty, but I'm gonna get it cleaned up. I'm also gonna do that by myself because I'm an adult. Looks nice. Got the aero bars on there. About to win this Ironman. Oh, I should take this tape off probably. The training volume that I was doing started around 12 hours in a week and went all the way up to 18 hours, or not quite 18 hours, like 16, 17 hours by the end of 4 weeks. I really ran into no issues with recovery. I think I did a great job staying well fueled and also recovering well, resting well, sleeping well, and really had the time at home to really nail my recovery such that I could increase my training from that 12 hours per week all the way up to 16, 17 hours of decently intense training. So I was super happy with how my body responded to that. And it really made me realize how important it is to get proper rest and proper nutrition during periods of intense training. One thing that I started doing during especially cycling sessions in this time period was fueling a lot, not only outside of activity, but also during activity. I even started incorporating this into some of my runs that were longer than an hour long. I would maybe take a gel or take some food with me and eat during the activity. And this idea I actually stole from David and Megan Roche, who are very talented trail runners and coaches that are popular amongst the ultra and trail running scene. And they have an amazing podcast for runners. I'd recommend it to pretty much anyone who's interested in running, which is called the Some Work All Play podcast. But their philosophy is that fueling during training and around training makes your body utilize fuel better and also reduces the amount of fatigue and muscle damage during activities such that you recover faster and can do more training without fatiguing, without getting injured, and all those sorts of things. And I've sort of subscribed to that philosophy and seen it work very well for me in those couple weeks that I was increasing my training a lot. So I will keep doing that when I sort of go back to school. Looking back, what was my training consisted of? Because the bulk of what I was doing was very low intensity training. I was mainly doing easy runs, easy bikes, easy swims, and I wasn't really focused on doing much intense like threshold work or speed work, just because I felt that I really haven't gotten the chance to develop a huge aerobic base. Before, I did a little bit freshman year of college, but I sort of wanted to focus mainly on getting a large base of low intensity aerobic training, which really came a lot from the bike, but also from the run. And at the same time, while I say that most of my training was low intensity, which is true, probably around 90% of the duration that I spent training was really in the zone 1 or zone 2 range, I didn't neglect my speed entirely because I think I didn't want to single-mindedly focus entirely on that aerobic base. But what I did was, instead of thinking hard about doing workouts and structured workouts and thinking about how much threshold volume I'm doing, how much VO2 volume I'm doing, I really just picked some races to do. I did 2 triathlons, I did a 5K race, I did 2 sessions of orienteering sprints, which are pretty high intensity but relatively short in duration. So these races really acted as a way for me to maintain my speed and intensity and sort of maintain my VO2 max and higher threshold just through doing these longer races, which are training adaptation, or which result in training adaptation, even though they aren't training themselves. If I'm doing a triathlon that's like a sprint triathlon that's an hour long, I'm going to be building up lactate. I'm going to be around threshold pace for that entire hour, and my body's going to learn how to flush that lactate. Similarly, if I'm doing 2 short orienteering sessions that are 10 minutes long, I'm going to be pushing the pace. I'm going to be around a threshold effort in terms of physiologically where I'm at. So I'm going to get those adaptations. And then if I'm racing a 5K, I'm going to get some VO2 adaptations along with threshold improvements without having to do these structured long tempo runs or long threshold workouts. So once again, I didn't neglect speed work. I focused mainly on aerobic base, but added in some races just for fun and also to make sure that I do at least maintain some of the adaptations that I got when I was doing a lot more threshold training and speed work in the spring. So I think I'm in a good place going into this Ironman in terms of being physically prepared. Honestly, when I signed up for this race, I was really only aiming to finish this Ironman. It's a long race. It can be up to like 5 hours for me. I really just thought, okay, I'm going to focus on finishing. But looking at the previous results and seeing where my body is, I am aiming to finish, obviously, but I will race it like it's an actual race because I think my body is able to handle it. I'm well prepared to be able to push myself even for a long race that's like 5 hours. So I don't want to burn myself out, but I also don't want to go too easy because I think I'm well prepared. The training was extremely good and the volume was high. and the intensity was high, I will go for it. Depending on who's here, I could possibly get a medal in my age category, 18 to 24 years old, because there's not too many people in that group. There are occasionally some professionals who come out here and they're going to beat me no matter what. I cannot race professional triathletes yet, but depending on whether there's 2 or 3 or 4 professionals that come out will determine essentially what place I get, because I'm sort of in that tight range where I'm not professional level, but I can pretty much beat most people who aren't professional, with a few exceptions, obviously, especially because my swim is so bad. I'm gonna be like 10 minutes behind most of the people in my age group. Actually, that's false. My swim is not horrible. I'm going to be behind because of the swim. The bike, I'm not an expert at. I can produce a ton of power and I'm well built for the bike, so I think I can do well there. And then the run, I'm a runner, but the pros are really fast, and I think I can do well on the run compared to any non-professional triathletes, but it really just comes down to who's signed up and who's there on race day. So looking forward to it. These next few weeks are very chill. This week I'll keep a decent amount of running in the schedule. I've cut down on the biking a lot. I haven't even set up my bike yet to ride. I kind of want to get it tuned and cleaned up before I do that, but I might go for a ride later today, or I might just get it fitted and then ride it tomorrow. I'm gonna keep the running volume up this week at around 40 miles, and then next week cut it down. Biking volume this week, very minimal. I'm gonna go on maybe 1 ride, probably nothing this weekend. Maybe on Sunday I'll do like 30-40 minutes, or probably would be better to go swimming on Sunday, sort of get used to the swimming motion again, because it's been a little while since I've done a swim session. And then the following week is the week before the race. I'm going to really cut down, probably around 20 miles of running, maybe 1 bike session, 1 swim session, and then I'll be ready to go. So that's the plan. It's been fun training like this. I think that the next chapter of my journey is not going to be triathlon. It's going to be more running focused, but I will leave those details for another video. You made it this far, thanks for watching. I don't know who the heck watches this, because it's kind of boring. I'm honestly boring myself by talking to this microphone, but I think it'll be fun to look back on when I'm old and frail and jealous of my younger self being able to train like a professional triathlete within 4 weeks. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching.